Yeah, my name is Sanjeev Singh. I'm from the Hyderabad 81 batch. My question to you, purely in the IIM context, relating to entrepreneurship is there a serious flaw in the selection system when we do an intake into the IIMs, where there's an obsession with the CAT and the academics, and essential risk-taking parameters of youngsters coming in are ignored? That's the first part. The second, you very validly pointed out that our entire obsession with the tech sector, which is 5 to 6% of GDP, and even in this forum not wanting to talk about the balance 94% of the real economy, where the people lie, linked to Pramod's earlier question. Do you actually think that as a country, 7 to 10 years down the line, we can be socially stable?
Making cost-effective education for masses, because we also know that the government education system is very, very suboptimal. It has limitations. The private education sectors have pockets of some excellence, some are all about money and capitation. So I think there's an opportunity, and I do know there are some people who are trying, but there's a lot more which can be done, because this is a huge opportunity. This is an opportunity of 1.2 billion people. If every Indian is educated one level above, they can afford to have a job one level above, and that can raise, So yesterday it was a PPO, tomorrow it can be a whole lot of other opportunities that can come up, because especially in the service sector, because people's education levels are high.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Hey. My name is Nitin.
Can I see you?
I have raised my hand.
You are behind the line, sorry.
Yeah, my name is Nitin Gupta. I am an advocate and I am looking as an investor. Okay, I am not an IIT passer. Whatever you spoke just now just changed my whole concept of investing. Till now, I always used to think in terms of returns and all. I also believe in this sustainable development and all that. But my question is, one, how sustainable is this idea of sustainable development? Because down the line, we always think in terms of being able to cope up with the pressure and the returns, like being able to sustain it business-wise. And second, my question is, your idea of that this country needs entrepreneurs everywhere. How do you develop on this idea? Like, how do entrepreneurs come up? Because sitting in this room, I believe every Indian does not have access to these kind of forums. What they need to become entrepreneurs, this forum is not reaching them. They don't have access to it. What are we doing to create this entrepreneurship for those people who do not have this access? So these are the two things which I want to ask.
What was your first question?
How sustainable is this idea of sustainable development, given the pressures we have of returns and all those business ideas?
See, the pressure is entirely yours. So if you in your individual capacity to invest in something had lower expectations of returns and higher expectations in terms of, being a going concern and also being able to create certain amount of social good, social impact, then you have reset your expectation, saying that, today we have, we have what are called, impact funds. Now, impact funds are people who put their money into social entrepreneurship. They always peg their return at certain percentage lower than what a normal VC would, because they're saying that, I'm putting in money for a good cause. It's not that I don't expect returns. I do expect returns, but I don't expect disproportionately high returns that a investor may take. So I'm good with that. I'm willing to get some money back, or a certain percentage on top of what I've invested, but I don't want to have very high ambitions. But in the process, I know this company will survive and they will be able to do social good, and I'm retaking my expectation based on that. First part. The second part is a tricky question that there is no easy solution. So let me start by saying, sometimes you need to look for opportunities. For example, in IIM Calcutta, we have been very fortunate, and I'm very fortunate to be part of that the government of West Bengal MSME department came to us saying that, they used to have something called district industrial centers and industrial development officers. Now, earlier in the license Raj, these were the people who gave for small and medium enterprises, they gave various kinds of permissions and subsidies. Now, all that has changed, and these guys don't really know what to do. Now, thankfully, a principal secretary who's come from the UN, who's much more evolved, he said, can I make them catalysts for entrepreneurship development at a district level? But to be able to do that, he has about 500 people across 20 districts of West Bengal. What do they need? Do they need training and skill development? Do they need attitude development? And we've actually worked with them for 2 years, and we're now beginning to see some results where they are actually interacting with a whole lot of people. So in the districts, every wannabe entrepreneur has to go to these guys to get a government scheme, to create a, even to get a simple permission for electricity or whatever for a business, you need to go through these guys. Now they have the database of every small rural entrepreneur. What we are doing then is we've now taught them how to study a business plan, how to locate an idea, how to connect them to various technology requirements, and along with some various private and public universities in the area of technology. And now we've done a lot of attitude building of saying that how do you encourage an entrepreneur. Now this is a very slow, painful process, and in this case it's got to be a multi-stakeholder. We are fortunate that we work with the government, and I think at a grassroots level most people like us can't reach. So you've got to find people. Maybe you need to work with NGOs. Maybe you need to set up an NGO which actually helps create entrepreneurs. If you find somebody, work with them. So we have to find alternate mechanisms. In our case, in my personal case, I have been fortunate to get an opportunity with one particular government, when one particular evolved individual who's given us the opportunity. And we've been working for 2 years. It's seen some results. It's too early to say how much we'll gain from it. But these kind of things, till you try, you don't know. And we are at least getting the opportunity to try. Yes, sir.
I want to share a perspective and possibly an opportunity for some of the people, especially from IIMA.
Thank you, sir.
Speaking of in the context of your grassroots thing, since we do most of the research of IIMA and IIMB, we got an opportunity to work with National Innovation Foundation. So for the first time, we managed to get the government to get them funds to go to market. Otherwise, they used to get funds only to get technologies from the grassroots level, IIMnetWORK, you know that. So when we started this work, we created opportunity of at least about 40 crores for just 8 technologies or 8 innovative ideas which had emerged, including taking one of them to my client Godrej and getting them a whole. Ultimately, all 8 of them failed because those entrepreneurs or those innovators were not ready. So what are you talking about? So there's an opportunity for anyone who wants to work with NIF, and if you can work and create that ecosystem where the entrepreneur gets ready.
Yes, sir.
Look, right next to IIM Ahmedabad is the Entrepreneurship Development Institute, which I happened to walk into once, and I met this gentleman called Mr. Patel, and he said, I'm the starter of this. So I said, very good, now let's have a look where it's got to today. It's just stuck there. It's stuck in Gujarat. And let's look at another thing. Today the wealth is really with the clumsy black marketeer politician of this country. And we are trying to create a balance. We are trying to get him to invest also in areas which we think are going to be job productive. And that is really the dilemma which we are facing today in this country. So any thoughts on this? You're doing a wonderful thing from what I see that you've got hold of the MSME sector in West Bengal where I've lived for a long time.
Yes.
And I understand that place very well and I go there every year. But how about making that infectious across the country? Because I'm hearing it for the first time. And I think
it's very early stage, so we haven't reached a stage to call it a success. We are learning, but I'll come to you, sir. So your first part of the question is how do you get corrupt people and politicians to invest money for good causes? I think that's unrealistic. I think there is enough intellectual and wealth capital among people like us. So if one saying that if corrupt people want to invest money, do you want to take it? I don't think we should have any truck with it. Sir, there was a question.
One last question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm a bit late and I didn't hear you totally, but I heard something very interesting. You are from West Bengal, you are from Calcutta also, so I am also.
Yeah, thank you.